Igor, really good to see you.
Yeah, very good.
It's been a while. I think the last time I saw you was in Boston a couple weeks ago.
Yes, that's true.
That's good. So look, you're out there talking with a lot of our customers. So what are you hearing right now? What are you hearing from them? What's one thing that customers are really excited about, and maybe one thing that's sort of blocking them and getting in the way?
Well, I think one thing is AI, and now more people are talking about agentic AI because, as very recently people thought about AI as something more passive. I ask a question and then will tell me. But now with agentic, you can actually ask AI to do things on my behalf. And so they're really excited about it. Really excited about the new version of Qlik Answer. Like every week I get asked, when is coming out? When is coming out? So relax. It's soon. It's going to be great, but it has to be right. But one thing on the way is, sometimes they are just not ready yet. Their data, they don't know if they can trust the data. So data quality is a big issue, and sometimes they still struggling with dashboarding adoption. And I say, yeah, you gotta do your homework before you get to that, because otherwise, you're gonna fail.
It's interesting you say that. I mean, I'm not surprised to hear that. I mean, a couple of things. I was talking to a customer last night at dinner, and we were talking agentic AI, and ultimately I said, so how do you feel about it? And he said, my users want pivot tables, right? And I was hoping to hear a little bit, they were more excited, but I think you're right. A lot of customers aren't ready. So, I mean, look, we've got a bunch of questions we want to get through here today, but I just want to throw one at you. What is it going to take for customers to get ready for agentic? What's it going to take?
So I think there was actually I wrote recently a white paper about it, like adoption in companies. It was like a long research that I did interviewing customers, and I said like there's a few things that customers do wrong, but like pointing out two things is first they need to get increased adoption. I usually joke about there's only three things that are certain in life: is death, taxes, and the user will want to export to Excel. So you want to avoid that because there's a data governance nightmare. So you want to increase adoption, people stay in the tool, use it. So then you go to the next step, because when you increase adoption, then user will start a question: oh, why I don't have this data? So then you bring in those data silos to the whole architecture, the whole infrastructure. So there's no other way. You have to increase adoption. And one thing that blocks customers of doing is, and I hear a lot of times, when the customer treat their users as inept.
Ooh, yeah.
Like I get like some customer that way. The biggest challenge when we're migrating, for example, customer from QlikView to cloud is not the technology. Is when the customer come, it has to look exactly like QlikView. If it looks slightly different, they're not going to use it. And I say, are you sure about that? Can we do a POC? Just, try it out. And usually it's successful because they say, yeah, they want something new. So if they treat the users as smart, intelligent people and focus on adoption, I think, they're on the right track.
Do you think customers are starting to use data differently than they were before? I mean, you mentioned QlikView. I've been in the BI space my entire career as well, so I love myself some pixel perfect reporting. But do you see customers starting to think about data differently, number one? And number two, can you give me a good example of what a customer did differently with their data and what happened? A lot of questions.
Yes. So I think, it's going a little bit slower than the actual market it's moving. Like we have which is, I think it's natural because the speed of new things are being developed, like it's kind of crazy. It's hard to keep track of everything. But I think the biggest change that I'm seeing more often now is when customers understand unstructured and actual data. They understand as something separate, which was something separate. So I have a lot of documents, contracts, policies, a lot of stuff. When they understand, this is actually data that you can combine with your analytics and actually made a good decision. So in healthcare, we've seen some of the changes. So one example that I can remember right now is regarding to the interaction between hospitals and the insurance companies. So a lot of those policies and prices and all of that are in documents. So we see now more healthcare customers combining that information with the actual claims data, which is like standard table structure, combining that to see opportunities where they're losing money. And so when they renegotiate contract with insurance companies, they have better data to help them.
It's pretty fascinating. I mean, it's again, you and I have been in this space for a long time. There's always been the promise of that unstructured and structured data together. It feels like the technology is finally there that we can do it.
Yes.
But that's a really exciting thing. Let me turn the conversation a little bit about. You hosted a meetup in our new office in Boston. So
yes.
Office is gorgeous, right? You've got a very beautiful view of downtown Boston.
Love it, yeah.
Hopefully the customers enjoyed it as well. So what were the top conversations? What was the hottest thing for some of the customers? And then what did they really poke you on? What did they really say, hey, if I could do one thing, what would it be? Top thing.
So the meetup was actually in all of the meetup groups that I'm the captain. Boston, it's always like the best one with more attendance, the best discussions. I live in Boston for some time. I'm a Boston sports fan, all in on, and so I very biased. But anyway, it was great, and we talk about benchmarks. Later on, I had a little demo with MCP connecting Qlik with home device and other things. It was actually cool, but most of the discussion was about benchmarking, because a lot of the work that I do, not directly with customer, but interacting with customers, is regarding like benchmarking Qlik with other technologies, because I realized like years ago, working with a customer doing like science research, that the customer was actually exporting the data from Qlik to do that work elsewhere. And then I was saying, oh, why you don't do it in Qlik? Oh, because nobody ever did it, so I don't know if it actually works. I don't know if the number is calculated for the hypothesis testing is actually accurate, so it should give me any number. So then I started doing this benchmark, and then I'd done a few after that. And so that was the main topic. I was showing some of the work that I've done, some of the work that is still in progress, but there's some preliminary results, like Qlik Answers, for example. But a lot of it comes from like customers asking how much I can ask. And one of them, most of the questions were in regards to Qlik Answers.
Okay.
Because people, and rightfully so, they should be skeptical about AI. You cannot blindly trust anything. And so actually when I'm presenting Qlik Answers, I say, you don't have to trust it. There's a source you can verify. Qlik gives you the ability to verify if this is true or not. So don't trust it, verify, double check. And that's what I was doing with the Qlik Answers benchmark studying. And a lot of questions were about like hallucination and the kind of stuff.
So you mentioned benchmarking. You sent me the article that you did. You also did a benchmark on AutoML, our Qlik Predict product as well.
Yes.
So that's always been fascinating. The predictive analytics space is something that I've always been really interested in. What did you test when you did it? Why did you pick a certain data set? And ultimately, what mattered most in it? Right? What in your benchmark you did on Qlik Predict?
Yeah. So there is like different tools similar to like Qlik Predict does, like the kind of AutoML tools. And I pick one that is usually seen by many customers as a like a pretty reliable, like great tool, which is Data Robot. And I try to reduce the bias as much as I could. I'm also Data Robot certified. I've been to their office in Cambridge like many times. I know a lot of their people. So I say I know Data Robot well enough, and I know Qlik Predict. So let me do the benchmark. And the idea that I was trying to prove, because I know Data Robot does pretty good in terms of accuracy and all of that work. It was to show, what Qlik Predict can do as good or maybe even better but using way less resources, hardware resources, but also cost-wise. I went to Chicago and I looked for some data sets that were popular. A lot of people were using, were not simple, they were complex data set, a lot of columns, a lot of rows, different types of data, text, numbers, and all of that. So I picked, and I did this with all the data sets, but I did not publish. For the ones to publish, I picked one for binary classification, one for multi-class classification, one for regression. And I did all of the data preparation separate, not in Qlik, nor in Data Robot. So I tried to be neutral. So I did all in Python, split 10 different data sets, 10 different sampling, and then I trained them in Data Robot using what it's considered like a default settings in Data Robot, because Data Robot you can pick how many cores you want to run. And I did, we don't have to do that in Qlik Predict, it's more straightforward. I did the same Qlik Predict, got the training result, then I got a different data set and just ran it, just the deployment in each one, and then evaluated the results and then average like the accuracy and everything using the same methodology for both of them, and that's what I presented. I was not surprised when I saw Qlik Predict usually got like 1% ish better accuracy on the what we call out of sample data. But it was really interesting. It was that Qlik did it in the training time way less than Data Robot. Like there was one that was Qlik trained the whole data set in 5 minutes, and Data Robot did it in like 30 minutes. And there is a reason for that. What I say, if you, this analogy that I do is like, let's say they both have the same task, it's to kill a cockroach. There is infinite ways you can kill a cockroach. You can use a nuclear weapon, you can use your modern law, there's many ways you can kill a cockroach. And Data Robot tries every single one of them, and at the end, it just gets like an old newspaper. Qlik Predict knows, at the end of the day, this will be that the 8 algorithm, it will be one of these. So it goes to what we know. Like for example, if you're doing a binary classification, there is no need for neural network. Neural network is for language, audio, images. But Data Robot does it anyway. So why? There's no need. So just wasting resources. So you have that in Qlik Predict. And if you have Qlik, it's already there, you're already paying for that. So why spending all this 50, 60,000 a year to have like 3 data scientists doing that, and you can have limited users to do the same in Qlik.
So it's faster. And it was cheaper.
Yeah.
And slightly more accurate. I mean, let's be clear, most of the algorithms that are out there are all pretty well tuned at this point. So most of the tools out there will do that. So looking ahead, I always love to look into the future. I mean, if we could predict the future, we'd probably be in different jobs. But with that said, give me one thing for the next 12 months that you see in this great landscape of agentic. What do you predict and why?
So I think a lot of customers, they'll try to reach Jupiter, but they'll end up in the moon, which is pretty good. So meaning they will aim for like agentic AI capabilities. But if they do it right, they realize they need to increase adoption and they need to increase data quality. It's very responsible to feed AI with data if you don't have a way to measure the quality of the data. It's very responsible because garbage in, garbage out. So I think that's what I predict. So a lot of companies will not be able to reach AI in a production level yet, but they will start going in the direction of a better data quality and at least measurable. If you don't measure, you don't know.
So basically, you believe a lot of customers are shooting for Star Trek and warp speed, but the reality is they'll probably get Apollo and end up on the moon.
Yeah, which is pretty good.
Which is great, right? Yeah. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Look, I love talking to you. I love what you do. I really appreciate you taking the time with me here, and we are in Sweden right now, so not back in Boston. I myself am also biased. I am from Boston, so keep coming and doing the meetups in Boston, and hopefully I'll actually be able to stick around for one of them this time. It just you never overlap when I seem to be in Boston. So Well, appreciate your time. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, it was a pleasure, and also like to thank for all the support that I get. I never heard a no. Everything I ask, even if it's like something that's saying, oh, no, there's no way. And oh yeah, sure. So thanks for the support. This is also
Absolutely happy to do it. Thanks.